What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Clemson Tiger Wire podcast, where we are all sports, all passion, all of the time for Clemson University and Clemson sports. And so, hey, this time of the year is some of the best time. It is officially March Madness. We are in postseason basketball. Clemson is in the ACC Tournament as a 6th seed. What the heck? We won't even jump into that. But no, we're excited. It's ACC Tournament time. We're a lock in the NCAA Tournament, so we're excited about that. But so we're just pumped. This is the best time of year. And so today we've got a special series of episodes today. Today is March 13th, Wednesday morning. Today's game 2, round 2 of the ACC tournament. And so we're excited. This week, we're going to put out an episode every day talking about each round of the ACC tournament. And so today we're going to talk about last night's games, yesterday's games, all about round 1. And today we're going to talk about round 2. And tomorrow we'll talk about round 2 and round 3 and then so on. We're going to go through each day, but I'm not going to do it just me. We've got a special guest. You know him. You love him. He's been on a couple times before. Give it up for Anthony Moreau.
Thank you.
What's up, man?
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, man. Of course, man. Glad you could jump on. How's everything been going?
Oh, it's going, man. It's going good. I'm excited for the week. Excited for the rest of these games. Selection Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I got to say, you looked real good on TV this past weekend.
Thank you. I wasn't on there much, but I did make an appearance.
When you were on there, you looked fantastic.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I try my best.
Oh, yeah. If you're not, make sure you're watching On Patrol Live, seeing all our amazing men and women in uniform throughout the country, serving and protecting us, including A. Morrow. Give him a follow over on Twitter. We appreciate everything you do, sir. Appreciate your service.
Thank you. Thanks for watching too. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, all right. So we're gonna dive in. Hey, what'd you think? Your team actually played. They have the 4:30 game. Is that right?
The 4:30 game. Yes.
Yeah. So let's just.
It was good. It was exciting.
Dive in.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, let's dive in. Let's talk about it. Tell me what you think.
Where we start? You want to start with the NC State? My thoughts?
Yeah, let's jump right in. We're going to put up right here. So here's the bracket over here, just so you can see it. We'll have that on just for a couple minutes. But yeah, so we'll start that game 2, 4:30. I know it was game 2, but we'll just start there. Yep. What's your thoughts, NC State, Louisville?
So I'm not going to lie, they did shock me. Louisville came out very hot. I think they finished still shooting above 50% today, which is strange compared to their record. But DJ Horn out. He got hurt in the last regular season game. Thought he was going to be back today. Didn't make it back. So was a little nervous going into it to see who would step up. But, I mean, we had 5 players in double digits. Morcell stepped up pretty big. But for us, and I'm sure you can attest to this with the Clemson games, we shot 40 free throws today. So if you can get to the line that many times, you should be able to pull out a win.
43 throws is ridiculous. I didn't realize that. I watched the game, and you could tell that you got to the line a lot, but 33 made free throws on 40 attempts. What in the world? How many?
I know we missed some, but I'm not mad about that. If you can pull 33 points from the line.
Absolutely. I don't know if you know this. Do you know how many Burns made?
I do not. Not right.
That'd be interesting. I might look that up, but gosh, that's crazy.
Oh, there, 4 for 5 was what Burns shot from the.
Burns only shot 5 of them.
Yeah, Morcell shot 13 for 13. So,
goodness.
Well, I know we talked about in some of your other episodes is like we haven't had that guy, and Morcell, at least game 1 today, he stepped up and was that guy for us. 25 points.
Gosh, it's missing Horn. We talked about earlier on. DJ Horn was kind of seemed to be the guy that y'all had. How long is he out? Do you know? I know he's out today.
I think it's a game-to-game basis. They said that he avoided major injuries, so that's always a good thing. So hopefully we can get it back because we're going to need him going forward, I believe.
No, absolutely. Looking through the stats, it looked like pretty comfortable game. Like you said, Louisville shot pretty well, 55% from the field and from the 3. Y'all shot well from the field, 52, and then lower 3, more of a realistic 3, that 37%. But yeah, those free throws, 33 points on the free throws is wild.
finally NC State stopped doing, and I know we talked about it with Clemson team, is we got into that live and die by the three a lot early
Mhm.
on. So when Louisville took their runs is whenever we're just jacking up threes, and it was a bad look. But finally they kind of was able to get back on track and start, going towards the basket, which is what's best for us is the driving game and stuff like that. Kick it out to the
Oh
three.
yeah. I remember I texted you during the game. Louisville got off to a little run, got off to a little lead, and it was kind of worrisome there a little bit halfway through the first half. And then y'all came back and had started out hot in the second
Yeah.
half, played an excellent beginning. And then Louisville came back in. So it was definitely a game of roller coasters, had its momentums. What were your thoughts right there in that second half when Louisville started coming back?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that too many times with this team is, luckily we were able to keep it close right there going into half, which was important because we played garbage the first half, in my opinion. But was able to keep it close enough where we could be able to battle back in. And yeah, Louisville was hot, so it wouldn't have surprised me if they'd have snuck out a win in the first round today. I mean, you got a guy like Sky Clark. Sky Clark went off. He had, what, 30 something?
Yeah, 36 points today.
He's not even their leading scorer, so it
Mm-mm.
kind of stings for guys like that bring their A game, right? Not to be able to continue to show off the rest of the tournament, but Louisville
Yeah,
played good today.
it's very rare you see a player of the game from the losing team, but I think they gave
Right.
it to they gave it to Sky Clark today. So moving on, y'all win. So that means that tomorrow y'all have the what time do y'all play tomorrow?
6, I
Let's
believe.
see, y'all play at 7 tomorrow.
7.
7, yeah, game 6. So y'all are playing
Yep.
Syracuse. What's your thoughts on that Syracuse game?
It should be a good one. I believe I'd have to go back and check, but I believe we split with them in the middle of the year. I like our odds in that game. I don't know if I like us in the long run, but I think we have a shot. It wouldn't surprise me if, I mean, Syracuse has been playing hot, so it wouldn't surprise me if we didn't win that. Oh no, actually, we lost both games to them. So
Yeah.
and they kept saying it all day today. Is like it's so hard to beat a team 3 times in a year, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know. I feel good. We played good against them the last game, but we had Horn scored 32 points back in February. But I'm excited for it. I think we have a shot with this game.
I'm not talking trash because y'all beat us this year. I can't talk trash. But last year your season ended to Clemson in the ACC tournament, losing that third time to them.
It did.
Gosh, y'all can't do that. Can't do that back to back years. Got to find a
Nah.
way to beat them. Got to find a way to beat them. I agree with you though. I think Syracuse is kind of where they're at right now. They've kind of hit a little bit of a slump. Um, I feel like they ended the season not too hot. They lost to us on senior night for their last game, pretty big, 15 points. Beat Louisville, beat Virginia Tech, beat Notre. I'm wrong. That was the only game they lost. They ended on a
So
4-game
yeah,
win
4 or
streak.
5,
Other
4
than
to
us,
5.
yeah. But their last loss before us was Georgia Tech at home, and that started Georgia Tech's pretty good ending to the year. But yeah, I agree. I think y'all have this one. I think looking at it, the matchup favors y'all, especially if y'all get DJ Horn back. Having that guard play combined with DJ Burns doing what he can, I think y'all could win that for sure.
Should be exciting. Like you said, they went on a little run right there at the end. You always got to worry about Mintz, and I mean, I think that he's their best player if I remember correctly. But I think we got a shot. I just really hope that Horn can get some rest tonight and hopefully be able to suit up tomorrow.
Absolutely, But I think y'all win. My prediction is y'all win. And speaking of predictions, we kind of started off a little out of order. I just want to make sure we could talk about your team. I was excited to hear your thoughts. Big win, 10-point win today. So here is the bracket for ACC tournament, and so. Listeners, watchers, viewers, Anthony and I, and maybe another person are going to have our ACC picks up on our social media. We're going to fill out a bracket, and you can find those on the Instagram, on the Twitter account, on all those places where you can find what our picks are. And so, Anthony, what were your picks today? Who'd you pick to win today's
So
games?
I texted you before it all started.
Yes.
Was shocked with the first game. I did not pick Georgia Tech. I'm going back to just double check. Yeah, I picked Georgia Tech to win the first game.
Mhm.
of the day, and then I went NC State and Boston College for the first day.
Yeah. So you went 2 for 3. I I also texted you mine,
You
and
did.
I did not go. I did not go that well. I thought. You see, I also picked Georgia Tech. I also picked NC State, but I thought Miami. They got their injuries back. They got their team was back. Like
Hmm.
we just want to let's real quick jump to that Miami Boston College game. Break it down. I think the start that game, it looked like the Miami from the beginning of the season. It looked like the team with all their players back. With uh, Omir was playing great in the post, was playing electric. He ended up with a double double. He looked like they looked like the old Miami for the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, him and Pack are, I think, a great combo in the ACC. So
Oh yeah,
I definitely would have been surprised if they'd have went off more than what they did tonight.
yeah. I thought they were drawing. I thought they were going to win. I thought they were back to it. And honestly, I was pulling for Boston College. As a Clemson fan, I like our matchup against Boston College better than Miami, just because Miami's got so much guard play. Uh, but no, I was pulling for Boston College. So I'm glad about that because that's who we played next. But yeah, I thought Miami would win, but they let us down. They not happy
So
about it. So
how many times did Clemson play Boston College this year?
we played them one time. It was a good game. We won by 11 points. The only bad thing is that Post did not play.
Okay.
So when you're looking at it, and like we won comfortably, we were up by like 20 points, and then they kind of came up back a little bit more. They only had 7 players that were healthy when we played them the first time. Um,
Mm.
the rest were out. So I think their leading score was what they were calling Jay-Z on the broadcast tonight. I think his last name is
Zachary.
Zachary. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was their leading scorer, but they also had that his Harris Jr. Was right up there with him. Um, yeah, McGlockton. What's his name?
Yeah.
McGlockton.
McLaughlin.
Yeah, McGlockton. He had a
McLaughlin.
great game tonight. He did
Yeah.
not when they played us though.
So what's your thoughts about Quentin Post? Because I mean, obviously he's Boston College's best player.
He is. I think if you look at their team, and here's my opinion, and you can call me out. You're not a Clemson fan, so if you feel like a little too much bias is going on, call me out. But I think looking at the matchup with Quentin Post and Clemson, I feel good about it. I think when you look down low, Quentin Post is a beast. I'm not taking anything from him. He's great. Play on outside the paint, inside the paint, facilitate rebounds, defense. Obviously, a really, really good player. But I feel like he's their main person down low. And I think between PJ Hall and between Ian Shefflin, also swinging down a 6'9" Jack Clark to come play defense, I feel good about shutting him down. If we can have some guard play show up and continue to shut down their offense, their guards like we did last game, that would be huge. But yeah, I honestly I feel good. I think if our ACC's most improved player of the year when Ian Shefflin shows up and ACC all team for all ACC first team PJ Hall shows up, I think we got a real good chance of that game. I actually feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think keeping Post out of the boards is going to be big for y'all. Um, like I just said, I think he's the best player on Boston College's team. I think they have some pretty good players around him. But if you can keep him out, Shefflin stay out of foul trouble early, I think that would be important for y'all. I mean, I think PJ could guard him if need be. But just I guess the main focus for me, if I was Clemson, is keeping Shefflin. He's going to get the boards. He's going to pull him down and keep him
Absolutely.
out of foul trouble. I think it will be one of the keys.
I 100% agree. If PJ or Ian gets in foul trouble tomorrow, it's going to hurt because then Post is just going to go off. I mean, Norchad Omir from Miami is a great player. He
Yeah,
played a little aggressive tonight. He almost tackled that guard towards the end of the game, wrapped his leg around him. I don't know if you saw that.
Frustration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was he like I don't even know what happened. Was it a first? Yeah, he that's right. He did just they didn't call a foul that
I
someone
think
hit him.
and he almost tackled the guy.
Yeah,
I think.
but he's a good defensive player, and Post was really having his way with him tonight. He
Yeah.
wasn't stopping him. But yeah, I think if we keep them not in foul trouble, keep them playing, keep them in the game, I think we should be good. But
So
it'll be
is that
fun.
your pick for your bracket for tomorrow
It
or
is.
for
I'm picking
today?
Clemson to win. Picking Clemson to win.
Okay, I am also
So
going with Clemson for that game as well. So
hey, there we go. So look, real quick, let's recap game 1 of today, and then we'll go through and make our picks for the weekend. So we'll go through and pick all of our ACC champions today. But first game, Notre Dame, Georgia Tech. What's your opinions there?
it was a pretty good game to start the day out. Close game, 4-point game. Notre Dame, you got to watch it, right?
I did. Yes, I was watching
Yeah,
it.
Notre Dame jumped out very big to start the game off, and then slowly Georgia Tech does Georgia Tech things where they were, they're never really out of it. I know they don't have the record to show it, but they beat some good teams in the ACC, and they started chipping and chipping and chipping.
Yeah.
And I thought they might pull it out at the end, but no, it was a good game to start ACC play.
What's your opinions on the coach for Georgia Tech and his comments? Did you see his comments early on in the season where he sat down, and one game he sat down, he's like, "Look, we got our butts kicked," but he didn't say "but." And then another game he sat down, he's like, "Look, I just need some guys that are going to play. I need some guys that are going to hustle, and my guys aren't here yet. Wait till my guys get here." I was, what's your thoughts? You played basketball in college and middle school or in high school, and you've played competitive basketball. What's your thoughts if you're a player hearing that?
So I get where he's coming from to a degree, right? You don't want to say that everything's fine when things aren't fine. You get the players. You got to find some way to motivate them, and maybe he was just searching for a way to get them motivated. Um, if I don't know, it's a tough one because, like I said, it's like, is it motivation or is it just too much criticism? Does he not like this team?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll be honest, I'm a guy, you know me, listeners, if you don't know, I'm an emotional guy. Uh, I cry at Hallmark commercials. That's who I am. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. If that's my coach, I'm ticked. We're fighting, throwing hands. I'll be like, all right, you get you guys. That works. But no, I'd be upset at it. I'd be like, what is going on? What's the point of why are you even here then? Go somewhere else. But
And we'll see how that plays out with the players in a couple of weeks if they hit the transfer
absolutely.
portal.
That's a good point. That's a good point. They could have some players leaving. I mean, they got some skilled players. Um, but
Yeah, the George I think was the one that tied it up against y'all when we were at the game to send it
yeah,
to
he
overtime.
was
He's a solid
stupid.
little guard.
I hate that game. Still gives me nightmares. Talking about emotions on my sleeve. Got to change the subject. I'll cry on the podcast. But
Well, he
but
had a good game
awesome.
today, 24.
He did.
So
He did.
who do they play next game?
Yeah. So Georgia Tech, they come out and they play. Let's see. They play Wake Forest, or Notre Dame plays Wake Forest. Excuse me. Georgia Tech's done. But so should be a good game there. So let's do this. You go through and we'll go through and get your picks for the whole tournament, and then we'll go through and get my picks for the tournament. So
Okay.
let's start with that. Let's start with that game 4 tomorrow. It is Virginia Tech versus Florida State. Who are you taking for that one? That's the noon game.
Tough one. It's a tough one. I like the guards on Virginia Tech. Remember when we played them? They're a good 3-point shooting team, so I'm leaning towards Virginia Tech for Game 4.
Okay. All right. I'll make my picks in a second, so that way it's easier to remember if it's all of ours. So,
Yeah,
game 5 would be Notre Dame and Wake Forest.
Hunter Salas, man, that's all I got to say. I'm taking Wake Forest.
He's a first-round draft pick. Hard to go against him.
He's a tough dude to play against.
Game 6, you got NC State versus Syracuse.
It might be favoritism, might be leaning towards a little ways. I like the Wolfpack in that matchup. I think we can pull out. I don't think we lose 3 times to them, so I think we pull out one against Cuse.
And then tomorrow, you already mentioned this one, but then late tomorrow, Boston College versus Clemson.
Yep. Again, like I said, as long as Clemson can stay out of the foul trouble in the post to prevent post, I think they'll be fine. I'm taking Clemson against Boston College.
So I like it. So then move on to the quarterfinal. You would have North Carolina versus Virginia Tech.
Again, Virginia Tech's team is not terrible. They finished way better than I figured they would. But North Carolina is too much to handle with the Player of the Year, Coach of the Year. North Carolina for sure.
All right. Then you'd have Wake Forest versus Pitt.
So
You got two superstars there.
Yeah. So I am still. I'm leaning towards Wake Forest. I like their team. They're a gritty team. They played us hard both times we played them. I think Wake makes it to the semis.
And they're playing hot right now. They're playing for their lives.
Yeah, for sure. They're right there on that bubble with Joe Lenardi.
Oh yeah.
No, isn't that it? No, that's the coach.
Joe Lenardi. Yeah, no,
Lenardi?
you had it.
Okay.
Joe Lenardi. Yep. Then moving on, big game for y'all if it makes game 10, 7 o'clock on Thursday. Duke versus NC State. Who would you pick?
As much as I would love to pick NC State, it'd make me nothing happier than to see them win it all. But I have to go with Duke. Duke's got too good of a team not to make it to the semis.
All right. And then last game on Thursday, Virginia, Clemson.
This was tough for me. Virginia's defense is, throughout this year, I've noticed that their defense has become more and more of a Virginia team, keeping teams to low scoring. But I am leaning towards Clemson in that ball game against Virginia.
All right. Semifinals, you got North Carolina and Wake Forest.
I am going upset. I'm taking Wake Forest.
All right. And then next semifinals, you'd have Duke and Clemson. Game of the year in the ACC, in my opinion, so far.
Great game already. They only played the one time, correct?
Yeah, one time. It was a great game.
Yeah, it was.
That was the foul call or no foul.
Right. I think that Duke will end up winning that game by. I think it'll be close for the longest time, and I think Duke will slowly pull away right there at the end.
All right. Championship game. You got Wake Forest and Duke. Who is your ACC champion?
My ACC champion, I would like to keep the upset going. However, Flipowski and Duke is going to pull it out and be your ACC champs.
Okay. I like it. So you got Duke winning the ACC. I like it.
Yes.
I like it. Michael Craver, who, if y'all have heard him on the podcast, great guy. He's got the Duke Blue Central. He is a big Duke fan, right? He does not want to win the ACC tournament.
No.
He says that exactly. He says if you win the ACC tournament, your luck is bad and then March Madness. So he wants to get to the finals and then lose. And so then you can win the actual tournament. I was like, all right, interesting strat. But that'd be good.
He's also the one from the beginning that called Wake
he
to
is.
win it.
I thought you were going to side with him.
Yeah, no, I've leaned toward it. I've been watching more and more of the games, man, and they're a good-looking team. I think they find their way into the NCAA tournament. For
sure. But all right, we'll walk through my picks now. So we'll go through second round
go back
on
to
Wednesday.
Game 4.
All right, game 4, that's Virginia Tech FSU. I think if this is at Virginia Tech, there's hardly few teams that I'm picking to win that game. I agree with you. Virginia Tech's a good team, but I think Florida State's physical, and so I think Florida State's physicality is going to let them win that game.
Okay, gotcha. So Florida State moving on to the quarters.
Yep.
Okay, and then you got the game 1 incorrect, but so no, Notre Dame. Well, I guess it would have been Georgia Tech, but Notre Dame versus Wake.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Wake Forest there as well. Hunter Salas, too good. First-round draft pick. He's electric. He'll win that.
And then obviously our game, NC State and Syracuse.
That's a tough one. I think, honestly, if DJ Horn plays, I think NC State wins. If DJ Horn does not play, I'm calling it overtime win by the Wolfpack. That's my prediction. So
Wolfpack either way.
Wolfpack wins with Horn. Not that close of a game. Without Horn, overtime.
Okay.
All right.
And then your next one would be Boston College and Clemson. I think we already mentioned it a little bit.
Yeah. I already talked about that. I think PJ Hall and Shefflin, good old Chef, can shut down Post as much as you can shut that guy down. He's really good. But, I think Clemson wins that one.
Gotcha. Okay. And then, your quarterfinals would be North Carolina versus Florida State.
Yep. And there, North Carolina is too good. I think North Carolina would win that. Oh, hold on. There's always an upset early on. There's always an upset.
Yeah.
And Duke and Carolina hardly ever make it to the championship game. They hardly ever make it. Both of them hardly ever make a run. Florida State, what was the Carolina Florida State game? We're making this live. So if you're listening to this, I didn't plan this out before. This is live. Carolina
Sorry.
won by 7 on January 27th. So it was a close game.
Okay.
Um,
And just the one time.
yeah, that's all I see. So yeah, I'm gonna go Carolina wins that, but I think it's closer than you think. I think it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to think of them upsets. I got you. Pitt
Yeah.
and Wake. Pitt and Wake in game 9.
I think this is going to be an upset according to seeds. I think Vegas will predict Wake Forest to win, so I think Wake Forest will win that game as well.
Okay. So there's your first upset, right?
Yep, technically, yeah.
Well, no, you picked Florida State too.
Florida State would be it. Yeah.
Let's see. And then you got Duke versus NC State and the quarters.
Yeah, I think I hate it for you, man, but I do think Duke would win that. Just Jared McCain, Kyle Filipowski, Proctor, Roach, so many weapons. I do think Duke would win that game.
That's fair. And then you got Virginia and Clemson.
So Virginia beat us when we played them in the regular season at home.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense shut us down. It was one of those games that we tried to live and die by the 3, and it hurt us. I think we're playing great. I think we win that game. I don't think it's a blowout, but I don't think it's a 2-point game. So I think Clemson wins.
I'm picking a low scoring game though. Is like the pace going to be slow?
I think it's not Virginia slow. Like I don't think it'll be like a low 50s, but I also don't think it'll be Clemson's normal, that like mid to high 70s. So I think I think it'll be like low 70s, high 60s.
I gotcha. And so then that leaves you with your semis, which is North Carolina versus Wake Forest.
You know what? I wish Michael was here to listen to this as well. I was wrong on the Demon Deacons. I was not a believer. I was not
at first either.
Beginning
I was on
of
the
the
Miami
season.
train.
Yeah, I was too.
You see where that got me.
I think here's the point that I think Wake Forest plays. Hunter Salas plays out of his mind, plays an excellent game, and loses a heartbreaker to Carolina.
Loses to North Carolina. Okay.
I think North Carolina wins.
Build them up. You're building up, man. I thought you were picking them.
No, I think Hunter. I think Wake Forest. Honestly, here's my honest opinion. I think Wake Forest has to win that game to get into the March Madness. I think they've got to beat Notre Dame tomorrow or tonight. Excuse me. I think then tomorrow they've got to beat Pitt. And then they would have to beat, in my opinion, if they don't make it to the championship game, I don't think that they're going to make the March.
You don't think the tournament. 2 games are enough?
I think they've got to win that third.
Okay.
And I think they come up short. So yeah, I think Carolina wins that.
And then while we're on that real quick before we move on to the last one, thoughts on Pitt? You think they're secured? Because in my mind, I thought that Wake Forest would be more secured than Pitt is.
I honestly agree with you. And the fact that Wake Forest isn't secured, I don't think Pittsburgh is. I think that just Pitt, for some reason, the whole selection committee has it out for ACC. In my opinion, there is easily 6 teams that should be in it. And I think it should be the 4 that's in it: Carolina, Duke, Clemson, and Virginia. And then I think it should also be Wake Forest, Pitt. I think they're all playing. Blake Hinson, what a player. You put Blake Hinson carrying that team, they can beat anybody. Not anybody, but they can beat a lot of people. You're not going to convince me ever that Wake Forest and Pitt are not a top 64 team in the country.
Yeah, that's fair.
What do you think?
I mean, we talked about it in some of your previous podcasts. I agree. I think I said 5 or 6 whenever we went over it, and we were talking about how many we thought would make it. I think if Wake can, in my mind, if Wake can pull out the 2 wins against Pitt, because I think that would be a quad one. It's a neutral site against one of the topper ACC schools. I think that'll put them it might put them in the first 4 in, but I think
Mm.
they make the tournament. I think you're right. I think they do have it out for ACC, and I think 4, possibly, like I said, with Wake, I think 5 might make it into the tournament. I'm not
Mm.
set on Pitt making the tournament though,
Mm.
especially if they're a 1 game and out.
Yeah. But yeah,
so yeah, you got North Carolina going to the championship, right?
I do.
And then you got a Duke and Clemson rematch.
I think it's going to be a good one. I think Filipowski is great. You go back and watch that game though. He couldn't stick with PJ Hall. He couldn't stick with Shefflin. I think Joe Girard's going to be playing out of his mind. And I think Chase Hunter did not have the dad superpower from where he's had a kid since then. I think Clemson takes it. I think Clemson wins it, and they beat Duke. I think Duke is already focused on the March Madness. Filipowski it's his last year. He wants a national championship. That's where his focus is, and I think that's going to show in that game. And Clemson wins it.
All right. So then that will lead us to Saturday, March 16th, the championship of the ACC against North Carolina and Clemson.
So let's start a little story time.
Okay.
Way back in the good old days. Way back in the good old days. Early on in the 1950s, a conference started called the Atlantic Coast Conference. Right?
I've heard of it. Yep.
It's a conference still known today. Some people are leaning against it. Some people aren't the biggest fan of it. I don't remember the founding schools of it. I wish I could, but I can remember one of them. And one of them was this tiny school in the middle of Joe Dunk, South Carolina, by the name of Clemson University.
Mm-hmm.
Since 1953, they have made the ACC championship game, I believe, 3 times, maybe 4.
Okay.
Our last one was 2007. They've won the regular season. They've won the regular season 2 or 3 times in that time, maybe a little bit more than that, but not a lot. But we have never won the ACC tournament. A founding member. So we're talking 71 years of the ACC, and we have not won an ACC tournament. But on Saturday, March 16th at 8:30 p.m. on ESPN Network, Clemson Tigers are going to be led by PJ Hall, Joe Girard, Chase Hunter, and Jack Clark, the lockdown defender, and they are going to beat the North Carolina Tar Heels by 9 points to win their first ever ACC championship game. Mark it down, put it in the books. We're going to do it.
Okay.
That's it. And it's going to be raining orange. That's it.
Raining orange. I hope the ACC is prepared to have it coming from the ceiling.
It's gonna be big. Clemson, Washington D.C. is gonna be lit up orange. It's gonna be sick. But yeah, I do. Honestly, I do believe Clemson. I think this is our year. I think this year we win it, and Brad gets signed to a lifetime coaching contract.
And he would deserve nothing more than that. You know?
Yep, absolutely. He'd go down in Hall of Fame.
How many seniors do y'all have?
A lot.
This is their chance.
There's 8 people that could leave, that are most likely leaving. With 3 of them could return. I think right now, which surprise, PJ Hall is talking about coming back possibly for a 5th year. Chase Hunter is talking about coming back for a 6th year with the COVID and a red shirt. And then Alex Hemingway, who has played in 1 game this season, who is a great 3-point. You talk about, he's not the best player, he's not the best scorer, but his 3 can create some momentum. He's going to come back next year. So excited about it. Yeah, but all honesty, I think Clemson does it. So
I was really hoping to have like a big Tiger Paw graphic pop up. Like some confetti already going.
That'd have been cool. Just wait. Saturday night, you and I will be on this, and we are going to be lighting that up. It's going to be all. Maybe we live stream. We'll see. But
that would be awesome. That'd be cool.
If Clemson wins the ACC, we will live stream.
During the game or after? This is news
After
to
the
me,
game.
so I'm trying to figure this out. Let's do it.
After the game, if Clemson wins, we will live stream, and my shirt will be flying over my head. I'm just kidding, not that part.
Ooh, man,
But,
what a
not
time!
that part. But no, I do think Clemson wins it. I think we win it. This is our year. That's what I'm hoping for. So yeah, I have Clemson winning. You have Carolina, correct?
Is that what I said? I don't even remember now. No, I had Wake upset him and Duke winning it.
That's right. You have Duke winning it. Yes, you have Wake
Yeah.
beating Carolina and Duke winning it. Yes,
I do.
So, and then I'm sure Michael says Wake Forest. But
And I wouldn't blame
it'll
him,
be good.
You know?
I don't either. They're playing well. But
So
hey, but that is going to be it. We talked about it. We've talked about the games for tomorrow. We've talked about today's games. We've talked about today's games. We've talked about future games for tomorrow, and we've talked about yesterday's games. So we're excited about that. We're excited about the future. So it's going to be fun. Are you excited for this week?
It's going to be a great week. It's like Christmas in March, you know?
Absolutely. Best time of the year. Baseball's right around the corner. College basketball's heating up. College baseball's in full swing. Free agency for NFL just kicked off, which shout out Saquon Barkley to the Eagles. Love that. But yeah, so just
big one.
It's a great time. Plus, it's fantasy basketball playoffs right now. We're in the semifinals. If we both win, we play each other in the championship.
I'm trying to gut it out right now. We've got a lot of hurt players.
What a time to be alive. What a time. Let's just bask in this moment. What a time.
Yeah, nothing better.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, Anthony. I appreciate you hopping on.
Thanks for having me on.
We will see you tomorrow morning to recap round 2 of the ACC tournament.
Can't wait.
Awesome. See you, bud.
See you, man. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us today on the Clemson Tiger Wire podcast. It's been a great episode. Hey, we're excited about tonight's games. Can't wait to see what happens. 9:30. Clemson's going to roll. We're going to win. I'm feeling it. I'm speaking it. I'm professing it. It's going to be great. But hey, thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Thanks for being a part of the Clemson Tiger Wire family. If you wouldn't mind, make sure you go over to social media. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that fun stuff. If you're listening to the episodes and you want a different feel, join us over on YouTube. We got video episodes for all the content. You can put a pretty face to the amazing voice. But then also, if you're on YouTube and if you ever want to switch it up, listen to audio only, make sure you join us over on Spotify or Apple Podcast or really anywhere that you listen to that podcast. We are there. But hey, thanks so much. We can't wait to talk to you tomorrow morning as we recap round 2 and talk about the preview of round 3, hopefully celebrating a Clemson victory. But until then, make sure you keep that Tiger pride alive and roaring. And as always, go Tigers.